Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. If this is your first time here, my name is Nichana and I make a wide variety of content from hair. No, what am I talking about? I don't do hair videos. I make a wide variety of content from faith-based stuff to skincare and lifestyle stuff to vlogs and anything else I feel like doing, to be honest. But make sure to subscribe and join the family so you will continue to see more of what I upload. I don't know, we can work on that later. But in today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys some tips and advice for making amazing content on YouTube with one thing: an iPhone. If you're interested in learning about how to get good quality videos on your iPhone, how to edit, how to create thumbnails, how to get cool effects with your text and stuff like that, what equipment you use, how to get the right setup, and even if you have other questions, those are more than likely going to be answered in this video today, so I suggest that you keep on watching. So the first thing I'm going to get right into is how to get the best quality videos. Now for me, I'm currently recording on my camera, but when I first started my YouTube channel, I just used my iPhone 8, and then later on I switched to my iPhone 11, and now I switch between a Canon T5i and a Canon M50. And honestly, sometimes I still use my iPhone just because it's so much easier to use, and the quality, in my opinion, is practically just as bomb. There's just a few changes you need to make on your iPhone to get top-notch quality in your videos, and I'm going to tell you those. Now, the first tip for getting really good quality videos is to change the resolution in which you're recording that video. On iOS 13, all you do is go into your camera app and then you switch to video, and then in the top right corner you should see something that either says HD or 4K. If it says HD, you just tap HD and it changes to 4K, and then you will see a number on the side. It may be 30, 24, or 60. You just play around with those to get the best quality. The best one, in my opinion, is 4K 60. The only downfall about recording in 4K, however, is that it takes up more storage than recording in HD, but the quality of the videos is definitely way better. So that's my first tip for getting better quality videos. My second tip is kind of pretty obvious. This probably should have been before the first one, but it's just to record your videos horizontally like this rather than vertically like this. YouTube supports both horizontal and vertical orientations. However, in my opinion, there's just something about a vertical video that doesn't look natural or organic. And the last thing I will suggest for improving the quality of your video is just to set the focus point on your video by locking your exposure settings. And pretty much what you do is you just go right back into your camera app. When you're recording your video, you will see like a yellow bar. You want to put it on you or whatever it is that you want it to be focused on, and then you hold it down to lock it. And that way, while you're recording the video, you wouldn't see like the lighting and the exposure continuously changing, and that could look weird. Now, the next thing I'm going to get into is lighting. I personally am an advocate for natural lighting. I feel like natural lighting just looks so much better than artificial lighting, and it's just so much easier to work with. For me, I like to find a window where obviously the sun is shining through well, and I definitely like check the time of day to see when the lighting is best, and then that's pretty much what I use to get the best lighting in my videos. I'm going to show you guys a sample of a video I'm going to record right now in front of my window, which is right here. As you can see, the lighting is bomb in my opinion, and I have no artificial lighting on at all. My ceiling lighting isn't on. I have no lights on around me. This, LOL, that was my camera. This is all natural light. So yeah, I just hope you guys are able to see how amazing the quality is on an iPhone. But next, I'm just gonna briefly talk about audio. And honestly, I don't ever use a mic with my phone. There's definitely the option to do that. I think a few things that you can do to improve your audio is just to be mindful of where you're recording. You definitely want to record in a quiet place. If you use like fans or anything that kind of produces background noise, you would want to turn those things off while you're recording, because for someone that doesn't have that same background noise as you do when they're watching your videos, it's going to be like, what is that in the background? And it could become distracting. So that's something that I would be mindful of. You definitely would just want to do whatever you can to minimize that. So yeah, that's pretty much all for audio, to be honest. The next thing I'm going to get into, and this is probably one of the biggest things that people are interested in when they're starting their channel and they're using their iPhones, and that is editing. iMovie on an iPhone can seem very limiting. It doesn't have the same features that iMovie on a laptop has, but there's ways around it, and I'm just going to briefly show you guys some of the cool things that you can do with iMovie in conjunction with other Apple apps. Well, one Apple app, lol, that can get some cool effects on your videos. And this app, most people probably don't even know that they have it on their iPhones. It's one of those things that you kind of ignore, but it's Keynote. Keynote is kind of like the Apple version of PowerPoint, and it comes in clutch when you're editing your videos on iMovie. And I'm just going to show you guys how you can use Keynote to get some cool text effects that go beyond the generic text options that iMovie gives you. You can change the font, you could change the animation, how it moves in your videos, the position, all the different stuff that iMovie doesn't allow within the iMovie app itself. So what you do is you go into Keynote, you press the plus sign at the top right corner of the screen, and then you click New, and then you'll have the option to choose which type of presentation you want to create. I just go with the basic white presentation because I'm going to be changing the background color anyway. Once you get in, you will see a paintbrush at the top of the screen. You want to click that, and then you click Appearance. You will see an option to change the background. I click Color, and then I go with one of the green options that's in the middle because you don't want it to be too dark or too bright, because this is going to be a green screen in the iMovie app. So I go with about the fourth to last option. Next, you want to keep the presentation title text box. I'm just going to show you guys an example of how you can put like the date on your video. Next, I'm going to change the text color to white, and you go right back into the paintbrush and it allows you to change the text color. And now I'm going to do the cool part, the fun part, which is the animation. So you click on the text box and you should see an option to animate. Once you click that, you should see at the bottom left corner something that says Add Build In. This now, when you click it, will show you all the different options for really cool animations that you can use. My favorite one is Move In. It's very simple, but you can't really do this on iMovie the way you want to. For this on Keynote, you could, adjust where the text appears, where it moves from, different stuff like that. So that's Move In. Another cool text effect that you can do, and I think a lot of YouTubers may use from time to time, is Scale. So it just kind of starts off big and then it gets really small. Another one that you can use that I think is really cool as well is the Twirl. And you can definitely play around with the different ones and see which ones you like, but I'm just going to stick to Move In for this particular video. So once you choose Move In, you're going to go back and click on Build In again, and then if you scroll down, you should see something that says Start, and it says On Tap. You want to change that from On Tap to After Transition so that it will automatically start without you having to click the screen. And if you want to see a preview of how it's going to look, you just click the play button at the top right and you can see what it looks like to move in. So once you've added your animation, you played around with it, you've chosen something that you like, you just click the three dots in the top right corner. You will see something that says Export. You want to export that to a movie because you want it to be a video. If you want, you can change the resolution from 720 to 1080 or 4K. I just leave it in 1080 because I think it looks pretty fine. So I just use 1080p. Then you click Export. Once it's exported, you should be able to have the option to hit Save Video. And now that's in your camera roll. So what you do is you go back into iMovie, you find the video that you want to add this text into, whatever that is that you're editing at the time. You click the plus sign on iMovie to add a new video. Then you go into your camera roll, you find that video. You don't press plus, you press the three buttons, and then you should see something that says green screen / blue screen. That imports the video into iMovie as a green screen. And when you press play, you should see the text appear without the background. So So that's a cool tip to get text effects, and obviously you can play around with it. You could change the color, you could change the font, you could change the effect itself. But that kind of gives you a little bit more freedom with your text beyond what's offered in iMovie. And another thing I want to mention when it comes to editing in iMovie is the transition that you use. For me personally, I always just select none for most of my clips when they're jumping to the next, just because the fade doesn't look good in my opinion when you're like talking and then it fades and then the audio from one clip merges with the audio from the second clip, and for like that brief second it just sounds like I don't know how to describe it, but I personally just click none so that it could have a smooth transition from one clip to the next. And to do that, you just click on the box that separates the two clips, and then you can see all of the different options for your transition. I just click none and it looks smooth. Now if you want to do a cool transition, maybe from your intro into the actual video, I like to use theme or slide or wipe. I never really use fade or dissolve. But theme usually gives you like a black transition for a split second, and then the slide or dissolve kind of like gives you that sliding feature from one clip to the next. And then within iMovie, it actually allows you to change the theme. So there's only a few options, and most of them I don't really like. I think the only one I like is the neon option, because then the transition for that is just really cool in my opinion, depending on the video. But if you use a neon option, it gives you like a pink and yellow type transition, and it's just really pretty. But yeah, besides that, transitions, I like to keep them simple, to be honest. And I think the reason why I switched to Final Cut Pro was because iMovie didn't really give you much options when it came to transitions. But yeah, I think you can definitely get away with just the simple ones that are provided, and they look really clean and smooth, so I'd say just stick with them. The next thing I want to talk about, which is very important to know when you're starting a YouTube channel, is thumbnails. In my opinion, thumbnails are probably the most important part of any YouTube video. It's what encourages people to click on your video. If your thumbnail sucks and if your title sucks, people probably aren't going to click on your video. Now, there are two apps that I use when creating my thumbnails, and one of them is actually Keynote. But for this video, I'm just going to talk about the main app that I use, which is Fonto. Fonto is super simple when it comes to creating a thumbnail, and I'm going to show you guys quickly how I create my thumbnails in Fonto. Before you create your thumbnail, you need to know which pictures you're going to use for your thumbnail photos. You can use more than one. You can use a screenshot from the video. You can use an image that did not come from your video at all, but it's whatever you think will captivate your audience. Alright, so I'm going to show you guys how I create a thumbnail for a clothing haul. This is the clothing haul I wanted to do, and I actually recorded, but I never uploaded to my channel. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into the app, and then you should see a camera icon at the bottom of the screen. You click on that, and then you click plain images. You can honestly choose any random one. I just go for the white one. And for YouTube thumbnails, the size is 1280 by 720. I have this memorized now. So you change the size, and then you click the arrow at the top right corner and you click use. So now you kind of have like a background just to know like which size you're working with for your YouTube video. So now you want to add images to this background. Sorry, I meant thumbnail, I said video. So you go into your camera roll, you choose the images. For me, I'm going to use probably 4 pictures for this. So you add each one, and now that you have your images imported into Fonto, you want to just play around with the size and figure out which size you want, just so everything can fit kind of perfectly. And once you play around with the sizes and you find what you like, you're going to go ahead and save that as an image. So I just click save image, and now I'm going to use that image as my background. So now you're going to click photo albums, and then you're going to go to your photos and you're going to import that. So now that's going to be the background for you. I played around with it some more and I changed out some of the photos, but this is the final result for me. So now what I do is I just add text. You just tap the screen and it should say add text, and then you write whatever you want it to say. So I'm gonna put misguided at the top. I'm gonna change the font to, I never know how to pronounce this, but I think it's like Babis NUA, something like that. I have no clue. And then I'm going to add the next set of text that I wanted to say. So I'm going to do try on haul, and I'm going to put that at the bottom. You can adjust the size however you want. And then because I'm using white text and there's some white in the background, I want that to kind of be emphasized more. So I'm going to click style, and then I'm going to click shadow, and I'm just going to increase the shadow. But yeah, that's how I create my thumbnails. So obviously you're just going to save that into your camera roll, and this now brings up the next topic, which is YouTube Studio. So YouTube Studio is kind of like the powerhouse for all of your YouTube videos. You go there to change your thumbnails, you go there to check your analytics, you can see what countries people are watching your videos in. You can make changes to your videos in YouTube Studio. Yeah, I think every YouTuber should have this app downloaded on your phone. For me, I use it on my phone and on my laptop. Most recent upload is usually at the top. You go into that video and you should see a pencil in the top right corner. That allows you to edit your videos, including your thumbnail. And a few other things I just want to mention about YouTube Studio that I think is important is just the ability to see an overview of your videos, to see where it ranks in comparison to other videos, to see your watch time, like how long people are watching your videos for. Do people click out of my videos at a certain time, or do they watch all the way through? And there's some other cool things as well. So I would suggest that anyone starting a YouTube channel should definitely have this app on your phone and just go through and see how your videos are performing. And this kind of gives you an insight into what needs to change, and you can compare videos that are doing really great to ones that aren't performing as well, and see like what changes were made in that video and then implement them more often. And another thing I just wanted to mention, when you're editing your description box, I would say to add hashtags to your description box, because with hashtags, the algorithm suggests your videos to people that are searching for things that your YouTube channel can provide, and that typically tends to get more views. And I'm telling you, it works. For me, I never really use hashtags in my YouTube video. However, the first time I used hashtags on a YouTube video, which was my skincare routine, my video now has 2.4K views. And for a channel my size with only 246 subscribers currently, that is really great. So the hashtags definitely work. I recommend them, and I think that's something I'm going to implement more often. So yeah, definitely use them, guys. And the last thing I want to talk about before I wrap this video up is very simple, and it's just your setup. For me personally, when I'm vlogging, obviously I don't really have a setup because it's more on the go. But for sit down videos like this, I just like to use areas that kind of allow me to have natural lighting. I don't like to hold my phone or my camera in my hand whilst I record a video. That kind of just makes room for shakiness. So I would suggest getting a tripod, and the tripod just allows your video to be still. And then the next thing is that you just want to have a simple, presentable background. Some people buy backdrops. I'm definitely not against it, but I personally feel like it's not necessary at all, especially in this day and age. You just want something that won't be distracting and something that's just appealing to the eye, to be honest. But overall, that's pretty much it. I just wanted to mention those things to you guys in this video. I just went over editing, thumbnails, audio, setup, YouTube Studio, keynote, lighting, all those cool things. I hope this video was very helpful for you guys. If you have any questions, definitely leave them in the comment section below. Before you click off this video, make sure to give it a like and subscribe to my channel if you haven't. But yeah, that's all for this video. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.